Good evening, everyone. Please go ahead and take your seats. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. I got to turn my own volume down. Cannot be zero due to iOS system limitations. Hello, Barbara. Nice to see you. All right, everyone, good evening, and thank you for coming to the November Cheverly Town Meeting. I am Michael Watson. I'm the mayor of the town of Cheverly. I hereby call this meeting to order. The time is 7:34. Okay, and the first order of business will be to call the roll. I am chairing the meeting as the mayor. The town administrator is here. The acting public works director is here. The acting chief of police is here. And is the council member from Ward 1 here?
Present.
Council member from Ward 2?
Present.
Ward 3?
Present.
Ward 4?
Present.
Ward 5? Are you online, Councilmember Garces? I don't see Councilmember Garces yet. Oh, he is online. I don't think I can see that screen. All right. Councilmember Garces is present, and Councilmember Fry, are you present?
Present.
Great, thank you. That is all 7 elected officials present. The first order of business this evening will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, council members, you have in front of you an agenda with 21 agenda items on it. I believe the only change that I'm aware of that we need to make is that are we removing number 11, WSSC Task Order 201?
That's correct, Mayor.
All right. Council, are there any other changes to the agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the removal?
Do you want to take that off now?
Sure. So, Council, we will also be adjusting the consent agenda to remove the minutes for 9:25. Is it 9:25? Only that one. Is there, and we will be considering the approval of those minutes separately as a 4B on the agenda. And we would be removing 11. Is there a motion to do those things?
So moved.
The motion is made by Councilmember LaGloahec. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Tanzi. Is there any discussion of the motion?
Yes, Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
I was just wondering if someone could explain why we're pulling those minutes out and putting them on the agenda separately.
Go ahead, Councilmember.
The minutes were not adequately corrected, and so I have a change to the language in the minutes, so it was discussed to just separate them out of the consent agenda, to consider them separately.
Is there any further discussion of the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The motion passes 6-0. The amended agenda is adopted. The next item, item 4, is the consent agenda. This consists of the town meeting October 9th minutes as well as the town work session October 23rd minutes. Any comment on the consent agenda? Hearing none, it is thusly approved. Next on the agenda then is the work session minutes for September 25th. Councilmember LaGloahec, I believe you have several very simple and easy to understand amendments that we can make on the fly. Councilmember Briner?
I'm sorry, I thought the 2 grant approvals were also part of the consent agenda.
Yes, I believe you are right, Councilmember.
Yeah.
All right, so let's back up. Then the consent agenda consists of the October 9th town meeting minutes, the October work session, 23rd minutes, the CPRC grant, and the ASL Coffee House grant. Those 4 items are included in the consent agenda. Council, is there any comment on that? Hearing none, all of those items are approved. Councilmember Legloahec, the floor is yours for your brief, succinct amendments to the draft minutes for the September 25th work session.
Yes, I just have, it's very simple, is under the discussion item. So where it says the town's relationship with the GIC is currently limited to, we are striking everything up to that point. So that bullet point would just read, the GIC is the town's green team for Sustainable Maryland certified SMC purposes. And that is the only change.
All right, so the minutes under discussion, there's a bullet point on ongoing research, and then the next point would read, the GIC is the town's green team for Sustainable Maryland purposes.
Correct.
And then the third and the fourth bullet point as drafted.
That is correct.
Okay, Councilmember Briner.
This is more of a general note, but I'd love to revisit maybe in the policy committee the level of detail that our minutes go into, because there is sort of a group of thought that says that it should be limited to just comings and goings and votes, and not have quite so much detail that can be seen as subjective, and I would like to move much more towards a more objective meeting minute situation.
Duly noted. Yes, I think that's a great work stream for the policy committee. All right, Council, those are where the September 25 minutes stand. Are there any other changes to the draft? Hearing none, seeing none, is there a motion to adopt the September 25, 2025 work session minutes as amended?
I move to adopt the amended September 25th work session minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Wade seconded the motion. Councilmember Legloahec made the motion. Is there any discussion from council?
I have a question of and I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you'll see my hand.
Go ahead, Councilmember Fry.
Okay, could I get a little more clarity onto what that change was about?
It was my
And I don't
recollection.
have the documents right in front of me, so that I apologize about that. I'm on my way in.
Understood. So I took your question to be simply a little bit of more explanation about what the need for the change is, or what the meaning of the draft that needed to be, what it is about the draft that needed to be, have its meaning changed.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Legloahec?
My recollection and the recollection of several GIC members was that the discussion at the work session was that the GIC's responsibilities were more closely aligned with Sustainable Maryland and not limited to their roles with Sustainable Maryland.
Okay, and could you, I'm sorry about this, could you reiterate the part that was struck or stricken?
So the line read,
The town's relationship with the GIC is currently limited. Those words were, well, and the word to were stricken.
so the line now reads, the GIC is the town's green team for Sustainable Maryland certified purposes.
I don't know that that's an accurate statement at this time, considering the fact that we haven't really discussed where they are at. Am I incorrect in that? Because I thought that was an ongoing conversation.
I mean, I think you make a valid point. I guess the question is, for purposes of the minutes, what point was made during discussion? I mean, this section has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points that were made during discussion. So, right, so like, do those 6 points now more accurately reflect what was actually said during a free-flowing discussion?
Okay, I guess I would defer to the clerk as to whatever her minutes were, because I haven't had the opportunity to go back and double check from the actual video.
Okay. Any further discussion of the motion on the floor? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Oh,
Nay?
I would say nay, and just so that we would be able to go back and double check before we actually approve it. Also because I don't think that we are in a time crunch, so we would be able to do it at the next meeting.
I heard 2 opposed. Councilmember Reiner, did you have your hand up?
I did. I think, again, this is what is difficult because the tenor of that discussion was wide-ranging, I think, depending on who was speaking. And so I think it's difficult to say, well, that wasn't said or that was said unless we're looking at a transcript. And so my preference would be that either we go back and listen to the meeting to determine whether this was said, or we strike the entire discussion section because it is very difficult to objectively recap that kind of a discussion.
All right, Councilmember Garces, did you have your hand up? I can't see that screen. No, your hand's down, but did you? Go ahead.
No, sir. I just wanted to know if you guys were able to hear my stand on that said nay.
Okay. So I counted 3 votes against and 3 votes for. Is that accurate? Anyone disputing that? The TV just got a lot closer. Okay. Then I'm going to cast the 4th affirmative vote, and we're going to pass the motion. And the minutes are thusly amended and adopted. Item 5 on the agenda is resident input. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to come forward and speak on any topic not underlined on the agenda for up to 3 minutes each. So please do not speak about the Ely building, the budget amendment, the snow emergency plan, Cheverly Hill, etc. Please go ahead. Try the microphone or push the group button, the green button on, because she can't hear you. There you go.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead and start over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I can. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jay Joyner from Ward 1, and in response to community input regarding proposed projects for Ward 1, this is about safety. My neighbors at 5522 and 5602 Newton Street have complained of snakes in stairwells and on their porches from the open storm drain on vacant lot at 5600 Newton Street. Believed town of Cheverly owns the parcel of land at 58th Place and Newton Street. The perfect location, paved sidewalks, bordered line streets, and is away from heavy traffic. Mature trees welcome park benches and beckons families. The lot at 5600 has an open storm drain to invite curious little ones and a haven for wild animals. There is constant, sometimes high-speed three-way traffic at intersection of 56th Street and Newton Street, now an alternate route for heavy equipment, tractor trailers, service vehicles, etc. A playground at 5600 may draw youth into traffic unaware of potential danger. If eligible, please consider the Conservation Reserve Program, CRP, administered through USDA Natural Resources Conservation, which pays landowners not to farm, Victory Gardens, their land to conserve natural resources, prevent erosion, etc. Doing so should take care of lot maintenance and taxes. This is especially vital to Cheverly because 5600 is part of a flood zone. There is an active petition against the playground construction at 5600 Newton Street. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, and I know that Mr. Galloway and Councilmember Wade will get back to you on that important issue. I don't see anyone online. If someone is online, please someone shout it out or raise your hand. I think that takes us to Ms. Salt.
Barbara Soult, Ward 2. I come not to complain, but in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And I offer these comments on behalf of a number of my neighbors who came together to try to problem solve a community problem that ultimately involved most of the leadership of this town. I'm going to read a letter that is either has been delivered or is in transit to the leadership of the town. Dear Mayor, Chief of Police and Deputy Chief of Police, Code Enforcers, and Ward 2 Councilmen. We would like to express our sincere appreciation for your efforts in finally resolving the issue on Crest Avenue that has been lingering for the past 4 years. Though efforts had been deployed by us to resolve the excessive noise coming from one of our neighbors' house, it is only through your attention, persistence, and commitment that a fair resolution was found. Your assistance has truly made a real difference for our block. It is encouraging to see local officials take residents' concerns seriously and follow through until the matter is settled. Please extend our thanks to everyone involved in bringing this to a successful conclusion. And I can offer the names of the people, but I don't know that that's necessary. It's people that live adjacent to the difficult neighbor, shall we say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salt, and thank you for your patience as we address that problem. I'm not seeing anybody online. I think we're sticking with Crest Avenue.
Good evening, Joyce Jones, Ward 2. The Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee provides multiple services to the town in addition to being their designated green team for sustainable Maryland. Our members serve as a resource to the town by constantly attending Zoom meetings, webinars, in-person tours, and workshops offered by a variety of governmental and environmental organizations in order to provide our elected officials and town administration the most up-to-date information. On October 8th, I took part in a tour of the city of Laurel, population 35,000, that was hosted by Sustainable Maryland. Here are some of their green initiatives that we might want to consider in our town. All of their outdoor equipment is now battery-operated: hedge trimmers, chainsaws, ride-on mowers, stand-on mowers, leaf blowers. They report saving on both maintenance and gasoline costs. They purchased a biodegradable foam system for removing weeds and cleaning sidewalks, which has eliminated the use of any chemical herbicides, better both for the environment and for worker safety. As of July 1st, 2025, it became mandatory in Laurel to divert all organics from the waste stream. Individual homeowners were provided with a kit consisting of an outdoor cart with locking lid, countertop compost unit, and educational material. For those residents in apartments and townhouses, Big Belly solar compactors were installed throughout the town. Those units are rodent-proof and can accommodate pizza boxes and other materials in addition to food waste. On October 22nd, 2025, both Sheila Sallow and I attended another tour hosted by Sustainable Maryland, this time in Havre de Grace, population 15,000. Their green team is a grassroots 501c3 organization now in its 15th year of operation. They describe their model as volunteer-led and government-supported. They use a series of MOUs for various projects. Due to their unique location next to the Susquehanna River and their land footprint, they have a lot of initiatives that maybe we couldn't aspire to, like solar fields and living shorelines and huge community gardens that provide fruits and vegetables to residents, electronic trolley system. However, they do have some takeaways. They also have a very robust compost program. There's an easily accessible central location that accepts all types of food waste, including meats, fats, pizza boxes. To date, they have diverted over 250,000 pounds of food waste from landfill. And finally, during the tour, the mayor was very effusive in talking about how his yearly budget includes a $10,000 gala end-of-year dinner to celebrate and thank all volunteers. He stated that the return on the investment that the services provided by the volunteers is just enormous. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Let's continue here in the room.
Pardon me? Sheila Salo, Ward 2. Some recent activities of the Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee. The committee was forwarded a request from the Prince George's County Planning Department Historic Preservation Section for comments on an historic area work permit application. The applicant is installing a geothermal HVAC unit at their house adjacent to Mount Hope, an historic site. It was determined that the geothermal wells would need to be drilled in the driveway of the Mount Hope property. The applicant had obtained a county easement with the owners of Mount Hope, which will allow them to do this work. The committee reviewed the documents, and the applicant presented the project at a regular meeting of the Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee. The committee considered both historic and environmental elements of the proposed project, found no obstacle to approval of the permit, and so reported to the mayor and council. We expect this project to provide overall benefits to the environment. In addition, the experience of the applicant will add to the body of knowledge available to Cheverly residents. Now, through a letter to the mayor and council, the Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee has requested that the mayor and council seek clarification from the Prince George's County School Administration about the current status, condition, and future plans for the Judith Hoyer Early Learning Center in Cheverly. The committee is concerned specifically with the green space, the playing field, which is part of the property. One of our committee members who served on the council and was actively involved in getting the building retrofitted, improved, and reoccupied as the Hoyer Early Learning Center recalls that the town signed a 99-year lease with the school administration for the playing field, playgrounds, and outdoor basketball court. That lease allowed the town to use program open space funds to improve all outdoor spaces, including construction of the outdoor basketball court. We have been unable to find that this 99-year lease was recorded in the county land records. A copy should be filed in the town office. This lease should help the town participate in decisions by the county regarding the property as a whole. The committee further requests that the mayor and council keep residents fully informed and provide regular opportunities for resident input and discussion about the property and future use options. Now, the committee helped bring the well-attended forum on data centers to Cheverly on November 6th and will be attending the November 20th County Climate Leadership Summit. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salem. That's very helpful. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm Carlos Silbiger, a resident of Ward 4 and a member of Progressive Cheverly. And I'm here today with some other members of Progressive Cheverly to share with you something we've been working on over the course of the past several months. We've been trying to develop what a platform for the next 2 years might look like. Trying to figure out together what are some of the priorities, policy priorities that we can bring to the council, bring to the community, research, and work together to try to enact to strengthen our community. And we've come up with 3 specific planks of the platform that we're going to share with you today. We've gotten a lot of feedback from our members, and we even went to Cheverly Day and had dozens of people give us feedback as well, which we'll share it also. And then the hope is that over the next 2 years, we'll develop some specific. So today we're just going to give you the overview, and I'll hand you copies in a moment. And then over the next few years, we'll come with more specific proposals, present them to the community, advocate for their enactment, and work together towards that. So I'm going to present the part of the platform that is around protecting Cheverly from federal government aggression, which was a no-brainer as we were developing this. The thought was that, while this may or may not be specifically the role of the town, given the effect that this has on so many members of the community, we thought that the town could play an important role in partnership with community groups to protect, defend, and empower the members of the community that have been targeted and scapegoated by the federal government. And we had a couple of specific ideas that we were hoping to focus on. One is around looking at what I think is still currently our sanctuary city policies to ensure that they are enforced by all of our town officials and whatever institutions might be related. And if we don't have robust ones, then think about where we need to strengthen them. A second area is connect targeted populations, especially immigrants, people of color, members of the LGBTQ+ population, and federal workers, to relevant resources, including reinvigorated mutual aid networks that empower community to address concerns together. And again, I know some of this is already happening, but this seems like such a valuable role that the town could play in sort of a coordinating role. And then finally, monitoring any kind of threatened federal aid and provide updates to the town around how that might affect our budget. And so we asked the community, amongst those things, what do they think is most important? And no one will be surprised by this, but the Sanctuary City one got the most support and does seem like a really critical piece. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
All right.
Back to Ward 2.
Good evening, council members. Paul Cruz, Ward 2. There were several policies that were on the platform for strengthening Cheverly's democratic institutions. However, one stood out for its overwhelming positive response, from the community at Cheverly Day, which was ranked choice voting. Now, this is just a simple 2 changes to what our current election system would be, to allow our voters to rank candidates in order of preference, and to mandate that any winning candidate will have to have secured a majority of the vote. And this is just going to bring 3 main benefits: just a more competitive atmosphere, allowing more than 2 candidates to run in the same election, the complete elimination of concerns over vote splitting, and ensuring that the results are representative of how the majority of the town's voters, are leaning. And I hope that over the next 2 years, we're able to hold some productive conversations in the community about whether to follow in the footsteps of other cities across the nation and in our own neighborhood with Greenbelt only a few weeks ago, about whether or not to implement these reforms to our elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Karen Moe. I'm a member of Ward 1, a resident of Ward 1. So I'm here to talk about our third platform element, supporting development projects that align with our values. And so this is looking at the interest that the community has in developments that meet our values. And we're basically interested in the preservation and improvement of green spaces, our air and water quality, affordable housing, locally installed renewable energy, and support for more forms of transportation. We developed these ideas through a number of meetings, and we really had quite a nice response at Cheverly Day of people looking at our ideas and responding by indicating which ones they were particularly interested in. And in this particular area, there was actually a lot of interest in Tuxedo Road revitalization and in the Judith Hoyer building, which we understand is no longer being used as a school, and it's kind of vacant now with its adjacent fields that you heard about. So Our intention really is to engage the community and to let you know that there are a lot of people in our community that are very actively interested in what's happening around, and we're interested in keeping our parks and environment healthy. We're interested in making our air quality better for our kids, school buses and trucks going through our neighborhood. So just to say that we will continue identifying these particular areas and present educational forums for the community and come back with ideas that we get from the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moe. That's very helpful. All right, I'm not seeing anyone online. Let me try to switch screens. What? No? Okay, thank you. Any last call from the audience then? All right. We're going to move on now to item 6, committee reports, starting with the Rec Council. Is there a report from the Rec Council? Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Got it. So the October parade was a success. Thank you for everybody that came out to that. A couple dates. This Saturday, the flea market will be held at Town Hall. Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., I believe, November the 15th. Mark down your calendar. Please stop by and get some great things for your house. The people will be selling various items. The annual holiday party will be Saturday, December 6th. Tentatively, the Easter egg hunt will be Saturday, April 4th. And the pickleball scholarship tournament will be May 30th, Saturday, May 30th. And the rain date for that is the next day, Sunday, May 31st.
Any questions, Council, for Councilmember Wade? Thank you, sir. Cheverly Day Committee. Any report?
I have nothing new to report at this time.
2026 is
9/26/26.
9/26/26 will be the parade. Any questions for Councilmember LeGloahec? Hearing none. Mr. Tanzi, the Planning Board?
Since Carlo was here, I was going to have Carlo.
Yes, sir. Please.
All right, good evening again. The Planning Board met yesterday evening. Our meeting was focused on sort of two main topics of conversation. The first one was around the questions that we had developed and the council and city administrator have sent to the Cheverly Hill developers, and trying to determine sort of once we get answers back how we would like to approach that. Our thought is potentially to ask members of the planning board to review the answers and sort of flag anything that we'd like to discuss more, anything that's deserving of some conversation, and then hopefully, if the council's interested, maybe planning a joint meeting or work session at some point where we could look through it together and discuss. And once we know the timeline, we can figure that out. So that's the first topic of conversation. The other thing we talked about last night was around sort of priorities for 2026. A lot of us are new, want to sort of think about what the planning board could do. We have a lot of ideas, but I'm sure you do too. So if there are things in particular that you'd like to see the planning board focus our energies on next year, please share. Did I miss anything? Dave?
I think that covers it, but we did have Chuck Pocari in the meeting yesterday, and they did seem to be ready to submit their PPS soon, and so we do hope to have a sense of that since the timeline starts once that is submitted, as I understand it, and we want to make sure we have both the answers to our questions and some sense of what follow-up questions we might have in short order after that.
Any questions, Council, for Carlo or David? I think the joint meeting is a great. I mean, having the planning board come for an hour of a work session is a great idea. Probably January or February. Yeah, we'll facilitate that. Thank you. Next is the Board of Elections. Madam Chair.
Hello. Good evening. A very brief report. The Board of Election Supervisors has been meeting the last couple months to identify a wide variety of areas we'd like to see improvement in for future elections. There's been a great deal of discussion, prioritization of topics. We've been reviewing all of our materials, the Board of Elections handbook, internal processes, the town charter and code regarding elections, as well as some of the Maryland State Code. We have not yet brought anything up for an official vote within the Board of Election Supervisors, as we are still very much entrenched in the research stage. It is possible that some decisions may be made at our December meeting, which will be December 9th via Zoom. And if such decisions are made and official votes are taken, after that we plan to bring up our recommendations to a town work session, probably the subsequent one in December or possibly January, to start bringing forth some of our ideas that are areas for town council to address, things that are outside of our purview. That is pretty much the extent of my report. Do you have any questions?
Thank you for that, Council. Are there questions for the Chair of the Board of Election Supervisors?
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is the Ethics Commission, Mr. Rule. Happy Veterans Day again. Go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Mayor, Council, great to be here this evening. From afar, I've got kid duty this evening, or else I'd be there in person. I just want to give you a quick rundown on where we are as an Ethics Commission. 2025 has been a good year for us. As you'll recall, the new Ethics Code was passed a couple of months ago. A great deal of progress there. And that on the 20th of October, we as a commission adopted our internal operating guidelines. And so as of now, we are fully in the good graces of the state of Maryland, and we are fully operational. And I'm pleased to report that that we have come a long way over the past 18 months or so. And on that note, I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners, David Lavoie, Ed Terry, Deon Dobbins, Tina Jones, Veda Richardson, and Tanya Parker Gates for the hard work that they put into putting in a great deal of progress with this commission. Also, subsequent to adopting the guidelines formally, we were able to have a formal vote for 3 leadership positions within the commission. Tanya Parker Gates is our vice chair. Ed Terry is our secretary, and for reasons that I can't fathom, they put their faith and trust in me for another year as the official chair. And in all seriousness, so I am very pleased about that. I'm very pleased to be working with these great folks. Our next meeting is going to be the 19th of January. That will be a hybrid town hall and Zoom meeting. I have nothing else, pending any questions from the mayor and council.
Council, any questions for the Ethics Commission? All right, we appreciate the reminders that we know you will be giving us for our annual reporting, which I think is around the financial disclosure form, which I think is due around the turn of the year for mayor and for the elected officials. So.
Those are due on the 30th of April, so we'll be issuing those probably in the February timeline.
All right, we appreciate your friendly reminders so that we keep in compliance, and please do call us if there's any issues, as we all 7 of us want to remain on the good side of those rules. Any questions, council? Okay, not hearing any. That takes us to our last committee report, which is Hometown Heroes. Mr. Galloway, is this you? I don't see Mr. Bell. Anything?
Yeah, no update, with the exception of there will be nominations at the December town meeting. Patty, can you hear me?
Can't hear.
Testing, 1, 2. Okay, no update at this meeting. However, there will be an update at the December town meeting. We'll have nominations then.
All right, thank you for that. If there's no questions from council, that takes us to item 7, the swearing in, and we will start with Mr. Carney, I believe. And then council, if you want, maybe we should get a picture with Mr. Carney after we swear him in. To make sure you sign the right one so you don't become a police officer. All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Levon Carney.
Do solemnly swear or affirm that
Do solemnly swear or affirm that
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I will be faithful and bear allegiance
I will be faithful and bear allegiance
to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, execute the office of Youth Town Council Member
execute the office of Youth Town Council Member
for the town of Cheverly, Prince George's County, Maryland,
for the town of Cheverly, Prince George's County, Maryland,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
according to the Constitution and laws
according to the Constitution and laws
of this state and the charter of the town of Cheverly.
and the charter of the town of Cheverly.
Congratulations. You're a Youth Town Council member. No, stay here. You have to sign this. That's all right. Sign and date it, and then we'll take a picture. Yeah, thank you. Council?
What's today?
Today is the 13th. 11/13.
Thank you.
All right. Mom, do you want to come up?
Josh, I get her.
No? Okay. All right. All good. Like that. Yeah, perfect.
So do then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then if you get one with Jeff's,
Yvonne, do you want a picture of everybody?
We're 6 strong. Congratulations.
Here you go.
I'm going to move it for you. Please.
Three, two.
Yes, so the podium will be right here. The backdrop will be right here, so that during swearing in, the backdrop is there, not the construction.
Earlier when you said that, I didn't realize what you were talking about, but yeah, that's cool. Okay.
It normally is, I just didn't know.
All right, we have 2 more swearing-ins to do. You're staging this, Mr. Galloway?
You are. I'm just
Okay.
wanted to make sure you're able to.
Let's start with Mr. Tepom, because we got to start with somebody. Wow.
Awesome. I think right here.
First the TV and then this.
You know, we don't want the construction materials.
All right. Why don't you stand here and I'll stand here? All right? That's not yours. This is yours.
Well, is it the same?
I know the words are the same, but I'm going to read this one anyway.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
And if you want to look down at those words, but you're going to repeat after me. What do you need us to do?
This one? The whole thing? Okay. Skylar, can we take the whole thing, slide it over this way?
Oh, why not? Thank you. Let's do that. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
I
I,
state your name.
Giovanni Chipam,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that
do solemnly swear or affirm that
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
I will be faithful and bear allegiance to the state of Maryland
I will be faithful and bear allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
execute the office of police officer for the town of Cheverly,
execute the office of police officer for the town of Cheverly,
Prince George's County, Maryland,
Prince George's County, Maryland,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state
according to the Constitution and laws of this state
and the charter of the town of Cheverly.
and the charter of the town of Cheverly.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service. You sign and date. And then I will sign it.
Okay.
11/13. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You want to wait for pictures? Okay. All right, thank you, sir. We'll get back to you in a minute. Mr. Walker, Officer Walker. How are you?
Good, good,
Good
good.
to see you. Relax, it's not going to be hard. This will be the easiest thing.
Okay.
All right. You can read his if you need to. I'm going to read yours. Please raise your right hand. I
I,
state your name.
Brandon Walker,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that
do solemnly swear or affirm that
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
I will be faithful and bear allegiance to the state of Maryland
I will be faithful and bear allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
I will, to the best of my skills and judgment,
diligently and faithfully execute
diligently and faithfully execute
the office of police officer for the town of Cheverly,
the office of police officer for the town of Cheverly,
Prince George's County, Maryland,
Prince George's County, Maryland,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state
according to the Constitution and laws that their state
and the charter of the town of Cheverly.
and charter of the town of Cheverly.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. You sign and date.
It's 13th, right?
Now I'll sign it. Turn off. Okay, council, why don't we get in first, and then we'll have the department photo. And then do you want to have the officers, Mr. Galloway, do you want to have the officers' families? All right, let's jump back into it because I have a very tedious item 9 to get through, which is the reading of the fair summary from the closed meetings of October 16 and November 5th. I will proceed with that now, and then we will move on with the proclamations afterwards. Closed session summary, October 16, 2025. On October 16, 2025, the mayor and council voted unanimously to convene a closed session pursuant to Maryland Code 3101 of the General Provision Article Open Meetings Act. The closed session was convened at the conclusion of a special meeting at 6:15 by motion made by Councilmember Tanzi and seconded by Vice Mayor Briner. Vote was unanimous by those present: Tanzi, LeGloahec, Wade, Fry, and Briner, to hold a closed session. The reasons cited under the law were 305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Also 305B3, to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. The third reason cited was 305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And the fourth reason cited was 305B8, to consult with staff about pending or potential litigation. Those present in the closed session were the mayor and council. Councilmember Garces entered the meeting at 6:40 p.m. Town Administrator Delane Galloway, Town Attorney Jason DeLoach, and for part of the meeting, Town Attorney Todd Pounds, Esquire. During the closed meeting, the mayor and council received a report from Mr. Galloway and Mr. Pounds addressing multiple properties in Cheverly for potential acquisition. Mr. Galloway and Mr. Pounds answered questions from the mayor and council. Attorney Pounds provided an update on pending litigation and provided legal advice on annexation. Mr. Galloway provided updates on multiple personnel matters involving specific employees. Mr. Galloway provided an update on a potential new personnel policy involving a process for handling staff complaints. Attorney DeLoach provided legal advice on that policy. Mr. Galloway provided an update on obtaining a staff consultant. No actions were taken during this closed session. A motion to adjourn the closed meeting was made by Councilmember Garces and seconded by Vice Mayor Briner. The motion passed unanimously, and the closed session ended at 7:44 p.m. on October 16. Closed session summary for November 5th, 2025. On November 5th, 2025, the Mayor and Council voted unanimously to convene a closed session pursuant to Maryland Code 3101 of the General Provision Article Open Meetings Act. The closed session was convened at the conclusion of a special meeting at 7:38 p.m. by motion made by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Councilmember Garces. The vote was unanimous by those present, Tansey, LaGloahec, Wade, and Mayor Watson, to hold a closed session. The first item cited under the law was 3305B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individual. The second reason cited under the law is 3305B7 to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. Those present in the closed session were the Mayor and Council, excluding Councilmember Fry, who was excused, Vice Mayor Briner for part of the meeting, Town Administrator Delane Galloway, Town Attorney Jason DeLoach, Carroll County Sheriff James DeWeese, and Attorney Devon Miller, as well as Deputy Chief Kraus for part of the meeting. During the closed meeting, the Mayor and Council received a report from Sheriff DeWeese on the process and status of the pending administrative investigation on the officer-involved shooting and the timeline of the overall resolution of that matter. The Sheriff fielded questions from the Mayor and Council. Attorney Miller briefly confirmed the process explained by Sheriff DeWeese and offered other technical issues regarding officer rights. Sheriff DeWeese left the meeting at 7:58 p.m. and Attorney Miller left at 8:01 after their remarks. After their departure, Deputy Chief Kraus provided an update on a recent departure of an employee from the police department and explained the details of the departure. Deputy Chief Kraus left the meeting after her report at 8:18 p.m. Mr. Galloway reported then on efforts to retain a consultant to address potential sensitive personnel issues that were discussed. Attorney DeLoach provided a brief update on ongoing annexation litigation. The Mayor and Council discussed with Mr. Galloway his benefits and the importance of utilizing them. Attorney DeLoach and the Mayor discussed a letter received on behalf of a former employee. Both discussed the contents of the letter and answered questions regarding it. No actions were taken during the closed session. A motion to adjourn the closed meeting was made by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Councilmember Garces. The motion passed unanimously and the closed session ended at 9:13 p.m. on November 5th. And both of those minutes will be appended to the minutes of this meeting. Moving on to item 10, proclamations. We have two proclamations tonight, one on Municipal Government Works Month and one on a proclamation honoring Mr. Hegeman. So I will start with Municipal Government Works Month. Proclamation for Municipal Government Works Month. The Mayor and Council of the Town of Cheverly proclaim November to be Municipal Government Works Month. Whereas the Town of Cheverly was incorporated in 1913, and whereas Maryland is home to 157 other municipalities, and whereas municipal government represents the most responsive level of government, allowing citizens to have direct access to elected officials. And whereas in an effort to educate citizens about municipal government and the importance of their participation, the town of Cheverly is proud to promote municipal government awareness. And whereas municipalities have enhanced the quality of life for their respective residents, maintaining natural and historic sites and structures, and helping to make Maryland a great place to live, work, play, and explore. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Town of Cheverly, Maryland, hereby join the Maryland Municipal League in declaring November to be Municipal Government Works Month in the Town of Cheverly, signed this 13th day of November 2025. Any comments from Council on this proclamation? I don't believe we have to vote on this, so I'm simply going to circulate it for your signatures. If I'm wrong, please correct me. We will move on to the next proclamation. Councilmember LeGloahec has generously agreed to read this so that you can stop hearing my voice. Go ahead.
Proclamation honoring the service of Charles Chuck Hageman, President, Cheverly Recreation Council. Whereas the town of Cheverly recognizes the invaluable contributions of those who dedicate their time, leadership, and service to strengthening our community, and whereas Charles Chuck Hageman has been a proud resident of the town of Cheverly since 2001 and has remained deeply committed to fostering a welcoming, active, and connected community. And whereas Chuck joined the Cheverly Recreation Council in 2016, initially as part of the men's basketball program, and through his dedication and leadership, grew to take on expanded responsibilities within the council, and whereas for the past 3 years, Chuck has served as president of the Cheverly Recreation Council, providing steady guidance, thoughtful collaboration, and sustained community engagement. And whereas during his presidency, Chuck continued and strengthened the Recreation Council's beloved signature events, including the Cheverly Easter Egg Hunt, the Halloween Parade, and the December holiday celebration, bringing joy, tradition, and unity to families and residents of all ages. And whereas Chuck helped launch the annual Cheverly Recreation Council Pickleball Scholarship Tournament, a community-centered event promoting recreation, connection, and educational support for youth. And whereas through his leadership and hands-on community efforts, Cheverly teens have collectively earned over 500 volunteer service hours, gaining valuable experience, mentorship, and civic engagement opportunities that reflect the spirit of Cheverly. And whereas Chuck's unwavering commitment, generosity, and service exemplify the highest ideals of volunteerism, community leadership, and civic pride. Now, therefore, I, Micah Watson, Mayor of the town of Cheverly, Maryland, on behalf of the Town Council and the residents of Cheverly, do hereby extend our deepest gratitude and commendation to Charles Chuck Hageman for his exemplary leadership, dedicated service, and enduring contributions to the life, spirit, and community traditions of the town of Cheverly. Proclaimed this 13th day of November, 2025, in the town of Cheverly, Maryland.
Mr. Hageman, would you like to come up for a photograph? And while he's doing that, council members, any comments on this? I know, Mr. Wade, this was your impetus.
Yes. Excuse me, everybody. Unfortunately, my voice is almost gone, but I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Hageman on his leadership. It's been a pleasure working with him to guide these flagship events, as well as working with the rest of the council to start the pickleball tournament. I witnessed firsthand the level of impact that the scholarships has provided for constituents throughout the area. As a person who has young two boys, that and see the impact from Chuck dressing up as Santa Claus to the Easter egg hunts as the bunny, but the hard work and dedication, a lot of times that is not that's not spoke upon directly, but that's the beauty of Cheverly and all it's done. So congratulations again, and you will be missed, but we will be calling on you for support. Thank you.
Go ahead, and your ward. All right, we are on to item 12. This is the first item on the agenda tonight that includes resident input. So we will hear a presentation from Home Team 5, and then hear from the council, and then hear any resident input on what you have heard from Home Team 5 and from the council. Specifically, gentlemen, you're welcome. Yeah, please make your way up. And I think Attorney Bill Shipp is going to brief us on a request for council or town support, council support for, I'm going to use the wrong word, I'm going to call it a departure on the zoning for townhouses. Clean that up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. For the record, my name is Bill Shipp. I'm an attorney with O'Malley, Miles, Nyland, and Gilmore with offices in Greenbelt. Here behind me, I have members of the Home Team 5 crew, who are the developers of the property, along with a whole development team. And as you know, we've been committed to coming to the town for regular briefings and consultations on issues that might involve the design and layout and use of the property at Cheverly Hill. This issue that we're talking about now deals with the layout of alleys for townhouse pods. Townhouses are allowed in the zone as part of the mixed-use concept that was included in the new zoning ordinance. But as we found on many projects that are going forward under the new ordinance, you run into little glitches here and there that just may not have been picked up as how they might impact a layout. And I think you see a diagram up there. I provided a memo as well. I'm not going to go through that in line by line, but essentially what it comes down to is that in a urban mixed-use context, the townhouse layout is served by an alley which will provide the parking for the residents of the townhouses. These are going to be high-level, high-quality units with two-car garages, so they take up most of the backyard of the building. The concept here is that we focus on the street presentation that both creates a nice aesthetic for the community, eliminates a situation where you have driveways that cut through the front road and you're trying to walk down the sidewalk and you're hitting a driveway every 5 feet. And so this puts all that kind of back-of-house activity into an alley. There is a provision in the zoning ordinance that requires a rear yard setback. And in the traditional townhouse zone, there is a note that states, although there's a stated setback amount, I think it's 20 feet in the regular zone, that can be reduced down to all the way to 0 in an alley context, so that really it de-emphasizes the rear yard so that you have this nice aesthetic front yard and front-facing street appeal for the community that's developed. That footnote was not included in the zone that we're in, which is the CGO zone. And so we're working through with Park and Planning as part of the comments and review on the plan that we're about to submit, how to address that issue. There's a number of different ways, and we're looking for flexibility with them. We're looking for their help and assistance, and it would be greatly appreciated to know that we could go in with support from the town to work on the issue. We're not asking you to endorse one solution or another yet. We'll come back with full plans, both the preliminary plan and site plan, so you'll see the exact layout, but we need to work through this issue. The really adverse effect of this can be seen in a couple different ways. One is that it increases, if we were to have to put the full 15 feet in the rear alley, I was saying before that the driveway takes up most of the rear because it's a two-car garage that's integral to the unit. So that's just going to lengthen the amount of pavement, which is going to increase the impervious surface throughout the project, which I know is an important issue here in Cheverly and in the county in general, to try to minimize the amount of impervious surface that's not necessary. It also would potentially impact the parking in front of the units, because one of the solutions that had been suggested was, well, you could just eliminate some of the row of parallel parking that we have on the public street built into this concept. Well, that's meant to provide guest parking and also general parking close to the retail core that would service this new community. And I know that one of the concerns of the existing Cheverly community is to make sure there's enough parking in the new Cheverly Hill so there's not an overflow situation. So we really are loath to eliminate parking. The other option of finding space is to reduce the village green, and we don't think that's a good idea either, because that's going to be a great service both to this development and to the town as a whole. One last impact that is somewhat salient but important is in one of the pods of townhouses backs up to the existing Cheverly community. The effect of having us to essentially widen the area for the alley treatment in the back would be to push the fronts of those buildings closer to the existing town. We're trying to provide as much of a buffer as we can from the existing community, not because we are hiding, but because we want to provide adequate buffer from existing residences in a nice design. So for all those reasons, we're working very hard to try to find a solution to this alley question. There's a bunch of technical ways that we're looking at it. Could include variances, could include looking at flexibility under the subdivision regs. We're continuing to have discussions with Park and Planning, but we wanted to brief the town and be able to say that we had briefed you and that we're hopefully going down together to try to find a solution. And that's why we're here today, and we'll come back again and keep reporting as much as you'd like us to.
Thank you for that. Is this proposal only affecting the townhouses in the one pod that's surrounded by the orange?
No, actually, I think that pod is meant to illustrate the issue of backing up to the existing community.
Got it. Right.
But some of the other pods have the exact same treatment. There may be a little more flexibility in the tightness of the layout, but we frankly think it's a better layout to have the shorter rear yard as opposed to shortening up the front yard. So it will apply in other places, Mayor.
Thank you. Council? Any comments at this point from council or questions?
Yeah, I have my hand raised.
Yes, sir. I can't see you. Go ahead.
That's fine. Just want to emphasize the point. Thank you all for coming, especially if you look at the map. A lot of this really deals with Ward 1, and I'm definitely in favor because of the fact of the more green space, but in particularly that those townhouses, the houses are not directly, based off of the diagram, are connected, well not connected, but closer to Jason Lockwood as well as almost parts of Inwood there. Is that correct? There'll be more space, there'll be a bumper of greenery space between the two versus the original, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, the fronts of the houses will be farther from the existing Cheverly homes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any further comments or questions, Councilmember Wade?
No, yield back.
Okay. Councilmember Garces or Vice Mayor Fry, please shout out any questions you have because I cannot see the screen. Let's go to Councilmember Tanzi.
Thank you for coming. Just so I understand what the apron is that where the garages are, or is that something that would be behind the garages? I'm curious either way, but the second question is 36 feet in the proposed design includes the apron. So is that still easily navigated by people on both sides, people pulling into these garages?
Yes, this is a design, first of all, the garages are integral to the unit.
Into it.
They actually are part.
Ground floor.
They're flush with the unit. So the apron is the driveway. And this layout is nothing, let me say that this is consistent with the way this product is laid out in other townhouse zones in the county. It's, I think, a peculiarity in how they carried it over when they added it to the CGO zone, which is getting pretty technical, but I'm happy to go in as much detail as you want. But we're not asking to do a product or a design that is substandard. We are just asking to be able to have the same kind of flexibility that is allowed in the other townhouse zones in the county.
Okay. So it is because of the unique zoning and it not translating over. So like if you go to where Busboys and Poets is, those townhomes have what, at least to me, looks like this type of
similar,
house.
very similar, exactly.
So it'd be something like that.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you have your hand up, Councilmember? Go ahead.
So, do you have the breakdown dimensions of that 36 feet as to how much the aprons are, or the driveway itself is?
We don't have it exactly dimensioned yet because that is really a site plan issue. Okay. And at preliminary plan, we're dealing with the lots, but we're anticipating now that we're going to have to deal with that. But the driveway under the typical design would be more like 5 feet long. And so instead of 15 feet.
You wanted to leave your car in your driveway, would it be sticking out into the alley?
Yeah, no, you would be putting it in the garage.
You wouldn't be able to leave it on the
right. And that would be prohibited. The alleys, by the way, will not be city-owned. They will be private and will be maintained by HOA regulations.
And would that be where trash would be picked up from through that alley?
Yes, and the county standards for alleys anticipate trash trucks, fire service, large truck movements.
Thank you.
And we're compliant with that.
Any further questions or comments from council? All right, then I will ask for public input then. If there are any residents who would like to speak on this proposal or ask questions for up to 3 minutes, I think we're going to have to ask you to use Mr. Shipp's microphone. Please go ahead. And if you're online, we will find you. Name and word, please.
Sure. Sheila Sala, Ward 2, and I have just one environmental question and then a strange other question. So the area that would now be 24 feet 8 inches, adjoining the town of Cheverly, is that going to be landscaped, or what is it going to be? I know you're going to say this for some future time, but in general, you must have some idea about it. Sorry.
Let me step up to the mic.
There you go. Take mic.
That's fine. We can take
Thank you for the question, and you did anticipate partly my answer, which is that is really a site plan question. I think generally it will appear like the fronts of units that you would see, so there will be landscaping and grass and sidewalk entrances to the units. But one of the good things is that it's not the back of a townhouse facing, it's the front. With the front facade actually facing
Could
the
use that
existing.
as their front yard, too.
Yes, that would be their front yard.
That would be their front yard as well as this part. That's where
Ms. Sallow,
The
if you have
back
another
is where
question.
the alleys will be, and the alleys won't be much of
No,
a...
I understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Ms.
so this
Sallow,
is really
can you
the
use the
front
microphone?
yard.
Yes, you're correct. She's pointing,
Wow.
it's hard to see
Where the little,
with the green strips
Right.
is where the front yards will be.
right, so this is
That's
extra, but
correct.
people could spill over.
I don't know what you mean by
Okay,
spillover.
this is the buffer. Oh, people could put their
No, the lots,
barbecues in there.
oh, let me try
I'm
to...
not saying I disagree with that.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. The lot lines will be the limit of people's regular allowed activity, right? The HOA parcels will be controlled by the HOA, which will have regulations. And, while I can't guarantee there's never going to be violations of something, there will be a mechanism in place to say you can't park your boat there, you can't do grills and other picnic activities unless it's designed as a park for the community.
So the next question is a non-environmental question. I don't see how the mailman is going to deliver mail there. I mean, you're going to have big boxes of,
Correct. You cannot drive to the front door.
Yeah, I was just conferring that.
Silly question.
No, it's not silly at all. Most likely, there'll be a centralized mail drop-off location. But again, that's something that will be detailed that comes later when we lay out the houses, and I'm sure you'll see that. Yeah, but it's a good question.
Yeah, it's a very good point. If you want to drive to my townhouse, you will be driving to my garage, not to my front door, because there will be no vehicular access. You could walk to my front door on the sidewalk. Well, everybody's front door. Doesn't matter.
Or park on the public street.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a good point, Mr. Mayor, that the fronts are really meant to be more pedestrian-focused.
Right. Activate the front of it as an urban environment. Is there any other public input? And I'm not seeing any online. Ms. Richards, are you seeing any online? No, thank you. Any further questions from council about this idea or the presentation? Okay. Is there appetite on the council for a vote this evening to support the proposed alignment versus the zone required alignment or zone demanded alignment? I mean, I would certainly like us to support it, but Vice Mayor Briner.
Are you asking for a motion, Mayor, or just asking a question?
I think I'm asking for a motion, yes, because there's no other public input. I think a motion would be great, and then we can debate the motion.
Can I ask another question of the
Oh, absolutely.
I'm inclined to support it, but I also am aware of my own ignorance. So what is the urgency on your part?
Yeah. It's a very, very good question because, as I said, the actual layout of the units and the sidewalks and related hardscape comes with a detailed site plan, which is the next phase. But if you don't design the lots correctly now at the preliminary plan phase, the width of the alley and the depth of the lot, which is informed by what the rear yard setback will be, you're going to hit an issue at site plan that we may not be able to address. So the point is to try to head this off now rather than have it be a big surprise later. And really what we're seeking is the town's support to help with seeking of flexibility for the rear yard setback as we go forward through the preliminary plan and the site plan. And you're going to see both those plans many times.
I think I'm comfortable supporting that.
Okay, then, Vice Mayor Briner.
I'd like to make a motion to express and communicate our support for this setback as outlined in the documents.
Thank you for that. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
The motion was made by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Councilmember Tanzi. Council, including Mr. Galloway, is there any discussion of the motion?
No, I'm in favor of this, Mayor. I encourage the Mayor and Council to move forward with an affirmative vote.
Any other council members wishing to make any comments in discussion or have any further discussion about the motion?
Just want to emphasize, Councilman Wade, to emphasize this is will benefit Ward 1 where the townhomes are not closer to the established houses and that are adjacent to it in Ward 1. So because of that, I'm in favor with it and other reasons.
Yeah, thank you for that, Councilmember. I also think it will it'll benefit all of the property lines, all of the Cheverly properties that are going to face any of the townhouses, including, I think, a handful on the southern part of the project that face Ward 2. So I'm inclined to agree with you. Thank you for that. Any further comments or discussion from council? All those I'm looking for Councilmember Fry so that she can vote. Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion passes 5-0. Congratulations. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We very much value the communication and cooperation with the town.
Great. Well, Mr. Galloway, that takes us to item 13, which is the update from Keller Construction on the Ely building. Are you leading this, or?
No, I'm going to turn the floor over to Kelly Wallace from Keller. We also have Robin Barnhart here from CPJ, who the town has hired as a contractor to assist the town with this project. So, Mayor and Council, without further ado, I'll turn it over to Kelly.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kelly.
Good evening. So I'll start with some good news on a couple of fronts. The first is we did receive a temporary UNO for the electrical portion of the inspections. A couple of minor comments from the inspector. Nothing really terrible. The second bit of positive is the grade issue at that center inlet between the soccer fields and the building and the track. Not to mention the concrete tops to the inlets. We've come up with a solution to lower those tops, basically bury them with enough soil to support sod, so it would blend into the adjacent, and it would look like you just basically have an inlet in the grass, which is what the original design intent was. By doing all of that, we'll be able to smooth out the grade change that currently right now is steeper than the rest of the area around it. So we'll be presenting some sketches to the town next week, if not tomorrow, on some preliminary, the preliminary idea. I've been meeting with the engineers and the contractors to come up with this plan, and it looks like it's going to be possible to solve both the grade problem as well as the drainage problem. So those two positives. The one negative that I have to, yes.
Kelly, just with that, I know Councilmember Tansey had questions about that, and just wanted to make sure that your questions were answered by what he just explained.
I think so, but I just noted that you will be presenting those designs next week, so I'd want to see those to make sure I understand how that addresses our concerns about the utility of the field for youth sports as put in the designs.
Okay. I assume, Robin, that you'll handle the communication of the stuff that I give to town, correct?
That's correct, I will.
Yeah, okay. The one negative that I have to report is the actual full UNO date we have to push to the following week from the week that it was in before. December 12th right now is our best plan for full UNO. We've run into three main areas of trouble. One is additional equipment added by several inspections to include some fire alarm devices, exit signs that need to be installed and then programmed into the fire alarm control. Secondly, I'm having an increasingly hard time with subcontractors not being responsive, essentially. We have gotten to the point where we're issuing notices of default in order to try to get some people's attention to finish the job, essentially. The amount of work that some of them have to do is so minor in their world that they can't seem to put as the priority that they need to put on it at times. So we're trying to ramp up the pressure on that. And then thirdly, we've had a series of change orders over I'll call it the last year and a half, where equipment was added, and we are now discovering that we missed a full installation on some of that equipment. So we're finding missing parts that we have to track down and install in order to get finals. And just as a small example of that, a washer and a dryer were added a year ago to the original plan. The washer and dryer were delivered and installed. The plumbing to the washer was installed. The one thing they forgot to do was put the dryer vent in. So without the dryer vent, the plumbing inspector can't pass the inspection. And so there's a couple of those things that we're just now discovering, trying to clean up just clean up the task. So for those reasons, it seems like we're having to, we're going to be delayed a little bit. And then, of course, the Thanksgiving holiday is a couple days there into next week, which isn't helping as I think everybody predicted when I first got involved. So for the most part, I guess that would be my report, unless there are questions.
Robin, anything to add at this point?
Nothing specific. There are some minor details that we are working with Kelly on and keeping track of, but nothing as significant to report to the council at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Galloway.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that update. Just a few questions for you. If your contractors aren't coming out, then what happens next?
Well, and this recently happened with the on concrete. we contractually, we don't have the right to just do the work for them until we default them. And so the first step is to issue a notice of default, which we are doing and have done. And once they fail to supply either the equipment, the labor, the material, or whatever it is that their contract says, at that point, we can then go out and hire a replacement for them to do the work. We have the ability to deduct that money that we would then pay the new sub for the work from the existing contract that we have with the defaulted subcontractor. Just yesterday, I got a response for a concrete slab repair from a trade that's been several weeks not answering my calls because we threatened to default him. And so then he decided to do the right thing and send us a response. So hopefully that will really start lighting some fires and getting some final resolutions to these, what I consider really small items, but they are going to be important enough to the inspectors to cause some issues. So.
Okay, so with that, if I still have the floor, Mayor. All right, so with that, what's the time frame of a default? Because just assuming, you said one contractor reached out to you, but how many contractors have you sent default letters to, and how long does it take to deem someone default with your company?
It's 72 hours, so it's 3 days. You give them 3 days to reply, respond, or to do whatever it is you're asking them to do, and then at that point you can pull and hire another sub. 3 days.
All right, what trades are we talking about here?
Right now it was concrete, it was utility, and I believe that's it right now.
And we've sent the letters out to them. Has it been 72 hours since we've sent those default letters out?
The one trade did respond. So, and that wasn't actually a UNO question. That was more just a concrete repair that was being discussed in the area between the covered parking and the building itself. On that side of the building, that concrete slab that's in between has some cracks, and we're trying to figure out what to do with that. And they finally replied with the plan. So that wasn't a UNO question, but it was a subcontractor that wasn't complying.
Okay. With all that we have going on, how December the 12th, this is a date that we have here now, okay?
Yes.
And there's still a lot of work to do.
There is, and we have a list developing. Robin's been asking politely for a little while now for a completion list, which we should get over this week. A lot of the work that's required is not necessarily a UNO question. Quite a bit of it can be done after UNO. However, that is not the plan. I only say that to say that, yes, the list might have a bunch of items on it, but there's probably only a small few that are important enough to drive the UNO inspections.
Okay.
If I could add to that, though, one of the things that we have been talking with Kelly, and the reason we've been pushing for this list is to understand, while they may not affect the UNO, it may affect the desire of the town to fully move into the space if there's still things that have to be done. So that is what we're still trying to get a handle on, and we need that list from Kelly to do so. So that's what we're looking for there.
So, Robin, I'm sorry, I have a question. Who are you pushing for the list?
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly, why haven't you all gave her the list when she asked for it originally? You know what? We could talk about that tomorrow.
That's fine. I'm planning to send the list tomorrow, so.
So it sounds like December 12th is the best case UNO date, but it's not likely even a Cheverly move-in date because the UNO date is not likely to be the Cheverly, Public Works Town move-in date.
I would agree with that. I would say the building can be used for a meeting like this fairly easily after UNO, but for a fully operational maintenance facility with offices and and all of that, I would say probably not. But again, the list that Robin's going to get tomorrow and the meeting that we're going to have directly after that to sort of coordinate efforts, at some point it will become agreed that, yeah, maybe it'll be a pain, but we could move in at this point along the stage rather than this point. There's going to be a conversation about what's the right mix between undone items and the city maintenance moving in. So,
Okay, Vice Mayor Briner.
So here's my concern based on how this process has played out so far. My worry is that we are so focused on this UNO date that we are going to have the earliest possible UNO date, but have most things not done, and then not have that UNO date to keep you accountable to actually finish the work. So I just want to make sure we're all clear on, we've been talking about this big goal as the UNO date, but I want to make sure that, as you said, we're all really clear on what that means. And I think I want that to mean a lot more completed than just the bare minimum for us to get in there and do our meetings, because that building is not for us to do our meetings. That building is for Public Works to do their work.
yeah, and I didn't mean to minimize the Public Works moving in. And we are tracking two levels of work. One is UNO and the details for inspections, but we have an equally large push to finish the work as well, to include punch list completion, items that still need to be installed, like the dryer vent that I mentioned, and so forth. We have not let off the gas at all on what I would call the regular completion work as opposed to the UNO inspection work. Our intentions are to be as complete as is possible, as soon as possible. But we do want to get the UNO as soon as we can, but we're also working towards getting the rest of the building finished.
Great. I would even say that I would be happy to continue to have our meetings in the gym in order to make sure that Public Works gets use of that building. So I just want to make that clear to everyone that the priority is Public Works, even though sort of publicly it might feel like we've had our first meeting in the building and, hey, the building is open, but if Public Works can't use it, that's not really what we need.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, it's, we need the UNO, but the UNO is necessary but not sufficient in order to, get the keys to the building and move in and make it functional. And, I don't think there's any trade-off. I don't think there's like a lot of work being done on that chamber room that, is coming at the expense of getting the first floor done.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
But
I just mean optics wise. I feel like, we could probably have a meeting in there now, but the optics of, we had our meeting in the room and so now the building is open is not the vibe.
Not the end of the story. Robin?
Yeah, I also just want to add that one of the things we've also asked Kelly that he's working on with providing this list is to take the project schedule that we have, which right now ends at the UNO date, but to extend that out to actual project completion date of everything done. So that is something that Kelly is also working on preparing, and he needed to get this list finished to be able to provide that to us to fully flesh that schedule out. But that is definitely something that we are monitoring and looking forward to as well.
Okay. Council, any further questions for, Mr. Tanzi?
Just a quick question, really for Robin, because you spoke, Robin, last time about the use of the fields. And so I just wanted to get your sense of the grade change ideas, assuming they've been shared with you, and how that will affect the utilization of the field as a sports field.
Sure. So the lowering of the manhole lids actually takes it to what the design intent was on the plans. It will definitely help ease the transition of the grading. than what's shown out or what is seen out there on the field right now. So I am in agreement with that design intent and moving forward with that. I will say that there is an aspect of the field use that we are still looking into, and that's for the total length of the fields. We understand it's 190 feet that the Boys and Girls Club had said that they need for the length of the field. I went out, as I told you all last time when we came here, is that I had pulled distances off the edge of the building to approximate where the edge of the field would start, and making sure that that was outside of any of the significant grading slope there, which it is. After that council meeting, I went out and then pulled a distance from that point 190 feet to the other side to verify it all fit within the full circle of the track, the existing track on the opposite side. Most of it does appear to fit. There is one corner that is tight that because I'm just pulling a tape measure across there, it's not as accurate. So I've made the recommendation that we get the corners of the field staked out in the field so we know absolutely for sure that it's going to fit. I know that Kelly has been talking with the design engineers to get background information and working through that way. But that is still my recommendation ultimately is we need to have it surveyed to confirm that 190-foot length. So that part is still in process, but the adjustment of the manholes and the idea of how they're doing it, I agree is the proper way of dealing with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for raising that again, council member. Are there other council member questions for either Robin or Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Galloway.
Just real quick, the project completion date is different than the UNO date, and I know, Robin, you had made mention to that. When will we receive the project completion date? Is that tomorrow that we receive the project completion date?
Yeah, it's going to be the rest of the job past UNO.
Okay.
And we can talk in our catch-up meeting about the actual definition and what's included, so I make sure that we have all of the tasks. Because some of the tasks that are required for project completion after UNO are administrative in nature, and it's things like O&M manuals, training, like we did with the audio or the lighting system the other day, and so forth. So if you want all of those things included, it might be next week that we get the full admin stuff, but tomorrow it'll be the work itself being finished.
Got me sore. Okay, so as it relates to that, well, completely different topic. The concrete pours. Okay, within 24 hours of the concrete pours, they were cracking, okay? And there are a ton of cracks. Are you all going to remove the concrete and re-pour? Or, I mean, what's your solution to that? Because there's so many cracks there to where I wouldn't feel comfortable accepting that building until you all had some type of solution that CPJ and I would agree with.
Well, that was what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the concrete sub and coming and do the repairs to the slab between the building and the covered walkway. So that plan I got today, I'll present tomorrow before our meeting. I'll send you an email, and then we can talk about exactly what you want to see as far as the rest of the plan. But they are prepared to cut out the slabs and replace the concrete where the cracks are.
Okay.
Any other questions for Robin or Kelly? Well, I mean, I don't know quite how to collect my thoughts on this. I think, first of all, I think December 12th is like 13 work days from now. So I don't think that that's a realistic date for anything. I was just getting started. Go ahead. I'll come back.
You know, with the concrete, I'm
Yes,
concerned. I really am concerned. And, you know, right now we're in the wintertime, okay? And if I'm not going to accept the building and the property with cracks there So concrete batching plant won't open up again until we have, a few days of warm weather. So that's really concerning to me. So I needed to put that out there.
Winter concrete is not a problem, especially in this area. There are concrete pours almost every day of the year in town. The concrete batch plants have methods for dealing with cold weather, warm water, admixtures. There's methods you can use to keep the concrete from being an issue in cold. There's blankets you install afterwards. It keeps the heat in. It's really not a problem at all.
Okay, are there any members of the public who have any input or questions on this topic before I give my concluding comments? You have up to 3 minutes. Name and ward, please. Is your green light on? Is your green light on?
Oh, yes, it is.
Sheila Sallow, Ward 2.
Green light is on. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong. At some point, we were told that the UNO date is the date that tells us when the fence can come down. Am I right? Did I hear it right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, if I can clarify, that's the chain link security fence that we're allowed to take down. The erosion control, which is the smaller black fabric fence, if you want to call it that, put in the ground by stakes, that is controlled by the environmental inspector. And there's specific requirements as far as how much grass has grown, how long it's been established, whether it's been cut or not. Essentially, that it's in a condition that will allow for it to not soil erode. And that inspection, we don't have a whole lot of control over. Nature has to grow the grass. And then once we get in final inspection for that, we can take the soil erosion control fencing down. But as far as the security fencing goes, once we get UNO, yes, that would be the plan, is to start taking the chain link down.
And the UNO means the security fence can come down, which means we get our vehicle chargers back, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That is a key connector there. Okay. Any other public input or questions or comments? Seeing none, so I'm not going to put any stock in December 12th. Council, we're not planning an open house at this point. An open house will be held and it will come together quickly probably, but it will not be in 2025. I'm still optimistic that it can happen in 2026, in January. Well, I'm optimistic it can happen in 2026. I'm cautiously optimistic it could happen in January. But we will plan that and execute that probably pretty quickly for the public, and that will be kind of the official opening tour of the building. Council, it's still our intention to have the January 15th PGCMA meeting there, which I think we can probably manage either way, but we will, as a team, make that decision. So we will still be hosting no matter what, and I'm cautiously optimistic we can host in the building on the 15th of January, but we will need to make that decision as a team a few days ahead of time. Yeah, I mean, I would say I remain very disappointed and very concerned, and I look forward to another report in 2 weeks on December 4th, and I hope that I am made to feel better or hear something that gives me more confidence that we are headed in the right direction. And with that, thank you for joining us. We will see you, Kelly, in 2 weeks. Robin, please join us if you're able, and then I know Mr. Galloway is in regular contact with you both. Let us move now to item 14, the snow emergency plan exceptions. This was put on the agenda so that heading into the winter months, we can take a look at the small number of plowing exceptions that are on the books, and make sure that we understand why they're there, and then we continue to communicate consistently those exceptions. So generally, Cheverly, in a snow emergency, we park on the odd numbered side of the street, and we don't park on the even numbered side of the street. I had to think about my own street to get it right. We park in front of my house, which is an odd number. We don't park across the street. Generally speaking, because I don't live on an exception street. There is one exception in Ward 2. There is at least one exception in Ward 1, and I think there's one in Ward 3. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Cardenas.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the reason we request the people to park on the odd number is to, especially on 3200 block of Tremont Avenue and 5700 block of Lockwood Road, is that when we are plowing and then we making that turn left on 3200 block of Tremont, it's really sharp, and then we're making that left. The plow, pretty much the truck slip because of the weight of the snow, and how sharp is the turn there. So we have to be really cautious when we're making that turn. If there's a vehicle parked there, it's really difficult for us to make that turn. So we have to go around and come back and pretty much make the right turn when it becomes difficult again too on 5700 block on Lockwood when you're making that right, because you don't have the space to make the turn. So that's why that's the reason why we asked the people to park on the other side of 3200 block Tremont, so that way we can actually open and make that turn to the right or to the left.
And can also add that I think we also indicated, before, that there is some black ice that's there sometimes from either some groundwater or from just water coming down the hill there. So it makes it challenging just for the operations team to make that turn. That is a tight turn whenever you're in the snowplow, okay? And although, Cheverly, they do a good job of making it look easy whenever they're driving the snowplow, it's not an easy task. So that's the reason, and we'll entertain questions.
All right, Council, any questions for the Public Works Director, Acting Public Works Director, or the Town Administrator on the plowing exceptions? Council Member Wade.
Yeah, just thank you all for addressing this. We've had a lot of concerns regarding this. As mentioned, the two that's in Ward 1, particularly the 3200 block of Tremont. Just to make sure I'm clear, it's really more of a safety hazard than anything else. The fact that for the snowplow to be able to maneuver doing that side of going over there from that standpoint. Are there any possibilities of any exceptions that can be made? And if not, I totally understand that, but just want to ask, make sure.
No exceptions made, just due to the trickiness of driving the actual vehicle in that area. We want all vehicles to park there in their designated location.
Thank you.
All right, Council, any other questions about the handful of exceptions? I'm not going to try to count them. I know there's one on 59th Avenue in Ward 2, so I'm not going to count them, but if there's any other questions. Okay, any comments from the public about the snow plowing exceptions? All right, not seeing any, we will move to the next item on the agenda, the budget adjustment for the Trent Street cameras. Mr. Galloway.
Yes, thank you so much. Mayor, what I am going to propose is that we kick this to the December town meeting.
The deputy chief and the lieutenant and I, we have been meeting with other vendors, and we think that we've found some competitive pricing, okay? So if you give us to December, we'll also try to manage the expectations with the old Ward 4 as well. We think we may even be able to insert better products in those areas at a cheaper cost. So if you can give us to the December 11th meeting, or whenever that meeting will be, we'll have a proposal for you all so that we can move forward and vote on that. Over.
Councilmember Tansey, is that all right with you?
Sure, I understand we want to have competitive bids. I just want to make sure that they are compatible with our existing cameras. What I don't want to have happen is to have what happened 5 years ago happen again. So how are you taking that into account to make sure that what we put in remains reliable and useful to us?
Well, you got to think about, when we got those cameras installed, they were installed by businesses that were fly-by-the-night businesses, okay? All the businesses that we have been dealing with are verified and certified and do a lot of business with other police agencies, not just within Prince George's County, but throughout the country. So some of the people that we've been talking with, we are very impressed with the things that they have shown us.
And they will be integrated in a way so that Cheverly Police Department can monitor them easily. Like, I don't want someone's job to now be switch the channel or something like that. No. They can see all of it live as if it was the same system.
You know, even in the old system, they had access to view on their phone, and then when we had access to view inside of the police station. So we're going to have those same capabilities moving forward.
Good. Thank you.
Any public input on a prospective budget adjustment to buy cameras for Trent Street? Seeing none and seeing no other comments from the council, we will duly bump this item to the December town meeting. Mr. Galloway, that takes us to your administrator report.
Mayor and council, do you mind if I yield to the police department and the public works department so they can provide their reports? Then I'll provide mine afterwards.
Yes, I do want to do a lead-in for the police report. So do you want to do police first?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Then I will make, I'm simply going to offer a short non-update on the investigation that's underway. As you may have heard, most of you probably have heard that our police chief, Dave Morris, was involved in a fatal shooting outside of the town limits on September 30th. He is doing well, but is obviously emotionally impacted. During the mandatory and independent investigation, his duties are restricted, but he remains our chief of police. Deputy Chief Jennifer Krause has graciously agreed to step up as acting chief of police. Per standard protocol in all officer-involved shootings, an independent investigation is being conducted in this case by the Maryland Attorney General's office. Any further information about that investigation must be released by that office. This mayor and council is committed to transparency, and we will update the public as we are able. And with that, Acting Chief Krause.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. Mine will be short and sweet tonight. As you see, we swore in two new officers. We have a female recruit, Christy, in session 154 with Prince George's County Police, over halfway done now. She's made it through the most critical areas of her training, the firearms, driving, and EMS. So we're proud of her. We check on her regularly and make sure she's doing it well. We also have one more officer in comparative compliance, and he's due to be out in the next 2 weeks, so we'll be swearing him in at the next meeting, hopefully. Investigative services. Historically, the Prince George's County Police Department has handled investigations within the town of Cheverly, meaning crimes against persons and crimes against property or for property. It's been several years now since the Cheverly Police Department has handled any of their own investigations. I'm proud and very happy to announce that Sergeant Jackson has taken on the responsibilities as a patrol sergeant in the town of Cheverly to handle a significant portion of the crimes against property, our property crimes. So your theft from autos, your thefts, and your stolen vehicles. He's done a phenomenal job setting up systems and processes in place. We now track every one of the crimes in the town of Cheverly. And moving forward, January 1st of this year, 2026, we will handle all property crimes in the town of Cheverly. This has always been the plan since we started, and I'm very happy that we're at that point. If you are a victim of a property crime in the town, we don't, obviously our goal is to prevent these crimes, but with Sergeant Jackson, he does numerous follow-ups. Matter of fact, in the last 6 to 8 weeks, him and our officers have made 7 to 8 arrests for property crimes that have occurred, the theft from autos. And we couldn't be more proud of that. Again, January 1st, 2026, we'll be taking over property crimes. And then if we do have crimes against persons, we will have a designated sergeant that will, hand in hand with Prince George's County Police and day-to-day updates, not having to track it down to figure it out, what's going on with the case. And so we're very pleased to announce that. Patrol and traffic initiatives, update on the red light cameras for Columbia Park and Route 50. Power supply from Pepco was installed last week, and the cameras will be up and operational effective December 1st, 2025. So in a very short period of time, they will be working, and again, we couldn't be more happy about that. The CPD hosted our second annual Halloween event over at the Police Department Haunted House. I can't thank the mayor, council, the town hall staff, public works staff, and everyone who came together to make this such a successful event. We estimate over 2,000 residents came out for this, and it's something we look forward to growing now every year. Didn't anticipate it would be that popular, but very pleased that it was. So again, thank you for supporting us in that effort. I think everybody had a great time. So, and finally, next week on, I think it's the 18th at 19:30 hours, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will be hosting the Public Safety Forum here in Town Hall. So anyone who has any questions about the direction the police department's going in, crime, or anything else, we will be here for that. And that's it for our report.
Acting Chief, just to clarify, the camera is up and running on the bridge, and we are currently issuing warnings. So if I go out there and run the red light tonight, I will get a warning, and then starting December 1st, if I do it, I will be issued a citation.
Is that correct, Mr. Galloway? I think so. We have to put the notice in the paper and the notice out on the website. But yes, they should be right now as we speak issuing warnings, and then December 1st live.
December 4th.
4th.
Okay.
December 4th.
But I didn't, that is totally understandable. I'm very excited that if you do it this weekend or over Thanksgiving, you will be getting a nasty gram in the mail. It will simply not be, it will not be a civil citation that carries a monetary penalty, but it will be a mean looking and sounding letter, which is awesome. Okay, council, any questions for the police department? Mr. Legloahec.
I don't know if I can love this report more, and which part I love the most. I mean, I think that, well, I love the camera. I love the fact that we're going to do investigative services and our new officers joining the force, and the haunted police station was by far, with the Wicked Witch of Cheverly over there, I think it was outstanding. Good job all around by a great police force. I'm so proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to thank Councilmember Fry and the children of Vice Mayor Briner for adding to the terrifying effect. Is that the right word? So it was a team effort. I mean, not by me, but by the rest of the team. Council, any other questions or comments? Mr. Tanzi.
There was a post on the Cheverly Exchange recently about someone attempting to break into cars, and there was Ring camera or something footage captured. What is the standard practice for getting that to you?
The standard practice would be to call 911, like anything else. But if it comes in that way, Sergeant Jackson does all that follow-up, and they can email it directly to the online, the Civic online or online form submittal for the Cheverly Police Department, or we'll go out to their house and retrieve it.
Okay.
Whatever's most convenient for them.
Okay, and that contact information is on the Cheverly PD website?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thank you.
Seeing no further comments for the police department, Mr. Cardenas, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. So the phase one of the compost program, phase one of the pilot compost program will concluded at the end of November. The final pickup will take place November 26, 2025. We encourage all Cheverly residents to continue signing up if they are interested in participating. Your participation helps us collect valuable data to inform future composting initiative for the town. And the second pretty much answer the first line item. Sustainable Maryland Action Grant, the town of Cheverly has applied for the Sustainable Maryland Action Grant, which will allow us to continue funding the pilot compost program through FYI 26. We expect to receive a response in December. The gym floor renovation. We have received the material for the gym floor. The start of the renovation of the gym will take place next Thursday, November 2025.
Thank you for that. Mr. Galloway.
Yeah, with that being said, I just want to piggyback on that. The gym will be closed for 2 weeks, so we don't anticipate anyone entering the gym until December the 6th. Okay?
Say those dates again.
Sure. November the 20th through December the 6th. We gave 2 extra days because of the Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving holiday.
All right, thank you. Council, any further questions? Mr. Tanzi.
The Boys and Girls Club
They've already been
currently having their basketball evaluations, and they at least had them scheduled for the 22nd.
I've spoken to the president of the Boys and Girls Club, and he indicated to me that they will adjust.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Council, any further questions? Vice Mayor Briner, and then we'll go to Councilmember Wade.
Can I clarify about the compost program, because I got a question about it? So after November 26th, there will be no pickups for a while until if and when we get this grant from Sustainable Maryland. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you. But it seems like you think it's likely that we'll get the grant? People really love this program.
Yes, most likely.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wade.
Yeah, I just want to clarify regarding the gym. Is it just the floors, or also the bleachers are being redone?
The bleachers also.
Okay, so we will have new floors and bleachers. Thank you.
Well, so I'm not sure if the bleachers will be done
at this time, okay? We do have money to get the bleachers. And that's going to be another conversation that I'll have with the mayor and council, possibly at the next town meeting. However, removing the bleachers is not a heavy lift. We got to pull the bleachers out in order for us to install the flooring, but we're going to do some internal things as well while we take advantage of it. We're going to do some cleaning of the bricks in here. We're going to repaint some of the areas in here where we can paint. So we're going to spruce it up from the internal side of things while the floor is going to be somewhat out of the way. Okay, so but the bleachers, we do have $50,000 allocated for bleachers, and we do want some nice bleachers. So I'll have to ask the mayor and council about adding some money to get those enhanced bleachers. Over.
All right, you're okay with that, Mr. Councilmember Wade? You're good?
Yes, I'm okay with that. Thank you.
All right. Council, any further questions for the Public Works Department? All right, seeing none, Mr. Galloway, your report.
All right. Thank you, Mayor and Council. And the town of Cheverly, just a few things I wanted to give an update on as it relates to the tax exceptions for disabled veterans. That information has been posted on the town website. The town hosted a successful government shutdown and layoff resource fair. And I want to give a shout out to the mayor and to the staff for bringing the idea on, but also to the council members that are attended to help them make that event successful. It was a great event, and I'm just excited that we were able to host an event for our residents. Just as a reminder, we will have a business roundtable on November the 19th at 12 o'clock noon. We're inviting all of the businesses within the Cheverly town limits in the greater Cheverly area to attend this business roundtable. The town will host a turkey drive on Friday, November the 21st at 5:30, and the town hall parking lot and at the Cheverly Station parking lot. Mayor and council, if you are available, I would beg for your support to help us pass out turkeys on those days. We've already indicated that the community center will be closed. Chop Up and Cola received a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. As we agreed with their attorney, they have submitted their security plan, and Attorney Pounds is in agreement with it. Bike trail update. I met with the management company that owns the Craftsman building to discuss special taxing considerations should the Secret Service occupy the property. Well, we've been told that it's Secret Service, okay? During the meeting, I also reiterated our request for an easement behind the building to Craftsman Circle for a future bike trail. I'm currently waiting for their response. Councilmember Fry, I know you have questions or concerns as it relates to that.
About the DHS coming in?
DHS?
The Secret Service under DHS? Are you talking about Craftsman?
Yeah, Craftsman.
Yeah, and that's Secret Service. Are they not under DHS, like Homeland Security? How do we make sure that they will not be bringing any sort of ICE-type facilities in the area, knowing that they recently put out, I don't know what they call, I guess like an RFP, looking for space within 5-mile radius of Hyattsville?
Okay.
I mean, they can tell us one thing, but how do we guarantee? So, like, I love the idea of somebody filling up Craftsman, but I don't love the idea of having something that could potentially be something that's so contrary to our Cheverly values to be that close to us.
Understood. And thank you for that. Any other questions as it relates to that? All right. As it relates to the fireworks debris, the Public Works
team and I met with the fireworks vendor to address some of the issues that were brought forth to the mayor and council that we encountered this year. We agreed on improving the firework placement and changing the type of fireworks and ensure a smaller fallout radius. I'm confident that the matter will be resolved following our discussion. Happy to say that the lieutenant governor came to a meeting at Hospital Hill with the developers, and we had a successful meeting with the lieutenant governor. Thank you, council member Wade and LeGloic for attending, and mayor. I thought that the overall meeting was successful. We got to take a picture with the lieutenant governor and gave her a Cheverly baseball cap, so that's something to be proud of. Mayor and council, just a few things for you all. The PGCMA meeting, I've registered you all for this event scheduled for the December 11th at 6 p.m. We need to make a decision as to what time our December meeting will be. So just as a note there, the state of the municipality is scheduled for December the 4th from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Governor Calvert House. Mayor and council, if you would like to attend, please let Ms. Richards know so that she can make those accommodations for you. And it's been brought to my attention today that there has been illegal tire dumping in the Beaver Dam Creek area. We will provide that access to MDE so that they can proceed with the removal. Regarding cell phone coverage, I've shared our concerns with all of the major carriers that we are experiencing these issues with. I am proposing that we hold a roundtable discussion with T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and Crown Castle so that we can have a better understanding of their approach to address this issue with the town of Cheverly. And Mayor and Council, I would ask for your support in pressing these phone agencies, because I don't want anyone to come here. We had a walk with Councilmember Briner, and one of the things that one carrier tried to push was, well, they need to have better internet. We need to sell them internet, or we need to sell them this. No, we don't need to sell them anything. This is a matter of security. When, people have to walk outside of their house and a few blocks up to call 911. So I want to make sure that we're doing what we got to do moving forward. Councilmember Briner, I do see you with your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to reiterate, one of my residents was without internet for 3 days this past week and literally had to do just what you said, walk out the door and walk 2 blocks up the hill in order to call Verizon to tell them they didn't have internet so that Verizon could come and know to fix it. And so if there had been an emergency, like you said, they would not have been able to call 911 from their house. My request is just that any roundtable discussion that we have with them occur not during business hours, because I know a lot of folks who would want to participate would be working during business hours, and if it's possible to do it outside of business hours, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am. We're looking at the end of January in the evening, so preferably a 7 p.m. type of meeting.
Thank you.
Just to provide a brief Cheverly Station update, in the back of your reports, Mayor and Council, you'll see we issued 69 violations, and we have fined them $6,900. But one thing that I do want to bring to your attention is in the fine print there. Okay, if you go to the key takeaways and read the last takeaway, cameras were supposed to be installed by June 1st. We were charged Ross Management $500 per day dating back to June 1st, totaling $82,500 as of today. So we will be moving forward with that, and
There's one more thing that I do want to address. As it relates to town parks and facilities, I would like to address some residents' concerns regarding the special event held last month at Town Park. Earlier in the year, a resident submitted a special event request which would utilize Lang Field at Town Park. Residents were notified in advance that only the track and Lang Field would be closed for one day. All other park amenities, including the playground and courts, remain open for public use. The resident hosting the event followed all town policies and procedures. They submitted the special event permit well in advance of the 90-day requirement and held multiple meetings with staff to review the nature of the event, what was permitted, and the requirements, including park management. The resident reached out to CUMC to use their parking lot and was willing to pay the required staffing fees under the facility usage policy. Due to town resources being stretched during Halloween events, CERT managed parking, and the residents made a donation to CERT in appreciation of their assistance. The facility usage policy governs all town facilities, including park, fields, and established a tiered system for rentals. Outdoor residence rentals are considered fourth tier, meaning that town events as well as official programming, such as the Cheverly Boys and Girls Club events, take priority over residence events. All of these rules were reviewed during the special events process, and the event did not conflict with any existing programming. Residents must initial that special event form acknowledging any event exceeding 75 people must be classified as a special event because the pavilion capacity is limited to 75 people. This ensures proper vetting for all requirements, including insurance, safety, staffing, and compliance with regulations. The resident complied with all requirements. Special event permit holders also acknowledge that any violations of town codes, park rules, regulations, or laws will terminate the permit and forfeit all fees and deposits. The resident fully complied with all policies and procedures and coordinated with staff and CERT, giving us plenty of time to properly notice the surrounding residents. And that's regarding some concerns that had been brought to our attention. I just wanted the mayor and council to know that that resident did follow all procedures in order to have that rental.
Thank you for that. Yeah, just to clarify, we do rent out facilities, like individual facilities, but we don't rent out entire parks. Is that fair?
You can rent out the park according to the policy. Yes, you can.
And that would, if you did that at Town Park, or I guess if you did that at Boyd Park, that would effectively deny public access to the playground.
Well,
or am I mixing apples and oranges?
You still have access to the playground and to the courts. Okay.
Got it.
And the courts were not closed, and the playgrounds were not closed.
I think that might have been a large source of the confusion. Okay. Thank you for that. Council, any questions for the town administrator about his report?
Any questions about that?
All right. Thank you for that. I think, council, we are almost at the finish line. That takes us to the work session agenda, future requests, and the clarification of our December town meeting. Council, we are going to meet in 2 weeks on the 4th of December for the combined November-December work session. I have on that agenda so far a further clarification of the implementation plan, or the town administrator is going to present the implementation plan for 5701 and for the next steps on that. I have Keller, the audit, PEPCO, and WSSC. What did I forget, or are there other items, council, or including Mr. Galloway? Mr. Wade has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that in the near future that we make sure everyone's on the same page regarding for mayor and council to use town facilities, town staff regarding the event that they're doing for the Cheverly residents. Put that on the agenda at some time in the immediate near future regarding that.
Is that a work session agenda item, or is that a policy committee agenda item? What do you think?
I'm asking for a work session aspect. Well, policy, I would think we go to the policy committee, and then it would be brought forth to a work session, and then any changes can go there. But I just don't want to push it back any further, especially for future events that we have for the residents of Cheverly.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
I was actually just going to say exactly what Councilmember Wade said. So I will add it to the next policy agenda, and then we'll bring it to a work session.
Okay.
Probably not enough time to do it at the next work session because it's in 2 weeks. But the one after that.
Mr. Galloway.
I got a follow-up too.
Go ahead, Councilmember Wade, and then Mr. Galloway. I think you had a question about this point.
So, Councilmember Vice Mayor Briner, what is the date for the next policy meeting?
I think it's usually the first. What is it? Actually, I think it conflicts with our next work session because our next work session is off.
It's the first Thursday.
Schedule. Yeah, it's usually the first Thursday, which is when our work session is. So I will get with the members of the policy committee to see when we can reschedule that for.
Okay, and can you just please let Mayor and Council know when that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. Any other, Mr. Galloway, are we back to you?
Yeah, so one thing, we got to be careful with that so we don't have quorum, okay, and that committee. Two, I just want point of clarification, and this is pretty much clarifying that elected officials can utilize parks, playgrounds, or we're spelling it out, correct? I just want to make sure that that's what the ask is, because I
mean, I think it's more than facilities, but yes, that's part of it. It's facilities, staff time, it's chairs, it's tables, it's transporting those items. What is included in your in being a council member, and what is not included.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
If anybody disagrees with that bluff, let me know. Okay, so anything else for the December 4th combined work session agenda? I'm not aware of anything. Council, we will be having a closed meeting as well, hopefully in early December. We can combine it with the 4th, but I'll be in touch about that. That will be also to discuss the homework assignment that, as far as I can tell, none of you have completed yet. I would like to ask you to complete that and send it to me by Thanksgiving or over Thanksgiving weekend. And then we will have a closed meeting in December, which will include the discussion, but also some other items, including property acquisition and other items. And we will find a date for that in the first 3 weeks of December. Council, then, let's discuss the date and time for the December town meeting, and then we will discuss any agenda items that you have. Mr. Galloway has already secured council seats or a table for the PGCMA event. That is 6 p.m. on the 11th of December. Is there a desire to meet in December after that? Like literally right after that dinner, or do you want to do it on a different date? And what date is that? any opening bids for that. Mr. Galloway, you have a bid?
Yeah, I mean, would you be opposed to meeting earlier that day, 4 p.m., 5 p.m.? No? Okay, I was just throwing it out there.
No, I mean, I was, sure.
Some of us are back at work now.
All right, I didn't hear a lot of enthusiasm for that. We could do the 18th. It's getting a little late. It's only 7 days before Christmas. It is a Thursday. But I think we should decide now so that we can notice it. I would also like to put out a teaser, perhaps, that all of the December meetings could be 100% virtual. Going once. I'm getting a thumbs up from the town administrator. So that would be the 4th and whatever other days we meet, in closed or open session. Does anyone hate the idea of December 18th?
I can do the 18th.
I'm fine with that.
We know PGCMA is not meeting because that's their meeting night, but they can't seem to stick to it. So, all right, pending any unforeseen problems, let us have our regular town meeting in December on the 18th at 7:30, and let us just do it on Zoom. December 4th, work session will also be on Zoom, and then any closed meeting that we have whenever will also be entirely on Zoom. Any objections to that?
I question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Why couldn't we move the meeting to December the 10th? I'm just curious.
To a Wednesday?
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Okay, never mind. I heard Rick said no. He can't do it.
Oh,
okay.
The sound? Okay, anyone, sorry? It would be,
It's virtual, right? Okay.
I don't think we would. Do we need audio-visual support for a
Not for
Zoom meeting?
virtual. Not for virtual.
Does anyone prefer the 10th over the 18th?
Devon can do it.
It is 10:12 p.m.
Yeah, we need it on TV.
I'm not available the 10th, this FYI.
Okay, let's go with the 18th. Okay. So that, I think we're, okay, so the town meeting is going to be on the 18th of December at 7:30. I have the Trent Street camera budget adjustment. Anything else that there is a pressing desire for council members to have on that agenda? All right, hearing none, I think that can, yes, Mr. Tanzi.
I want to make sure we are able to act on the Trent Street cameras by that time.
You just said that.
At that meeting, or, yes, at that meeting.
At that meeting.
Yeah, that's the only thing literally the only thing I have on the agenda.
Okay.
The second thing I have on the agenda, Mr. Galloway, is the introduction of a charter amendment. Blink twice if you agree. Yes?
And that'll be after the 13th, so maybe we'll have to do another too.
I think it's safe to say we will be meeting virtually and not in this building or that building. That is the virtue of meeting virtually. Yes?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
You didn't give me the right wink. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not trying to be coy. I expect that in public, on December 18th, we will introduce a charter amendment for annexing the Hospital Hill property. It's really quiet in here all of a sudden. All right, I think that concludes the budget, the agenda discussions. So I think we are on to item 20, Mayor and Council announcements. It is 16 minutes until the deadline. Who would like to go first? Council members. Councilmember Fry, anything? Okay. Council Member Wade, you are online. Do you have any announcements for this meeting?
Just congratulations to my boys. I don't know if I mentioned it, but for their soccer championship. So nothing else. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody if you celebrate.
Thank you. Anyone in the room want to go? Council Member Legloahec.
So I would
One
like
pass, 3 minutes.
I would like to invite all residents, not just my friends in Ward 2, to join me at my second Triangle Talk on Saturday, November 15th at 2 o'clock. I'm also inviting my fellow council members and, of course, our mayor, himself a Ward 2 resident, to join us as well. We will meet at the Greenleaf Valley Forest Triangle. I will also speak with our great town staff to see if anyone is available to attend to address any issues that they may have, that our residents have. If not, fear not, I will bring your issues and concerns to them, and we'll work with them to resolve them quickly. And I'd also like to thank the town and the staff for their support. It is shown for furloughed federal employees, of which I was one until today. Especially for the efforts at its fair, which took place last week, for both furloughed feds as well as those employees who were unceremoniously separated from their positions this year. This has been a difficult time to be a federal employee, but we will get through this together, Cheverly strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council Member Legloahec.
What's the time on that? Greenleaf, the time?
2 o'clock.
Any other council member? Tansy passed. Vice Mayor Briner passing. Council Member Garces, are you also passing?
I am passing. Sorry, I couldn't find the unmute button.
That's okay. Okay, I think that takes us to Council Member Fry.
Excellent, thank you. Well, first, I do want to say thank you to Levon Carney for volunteering to be our Ward 6 Youth Council representative. I'm very excited about that, and a little sad he wasn't able to do it with the rest of the group, but also he kind of got individualized swearing in, which was nice. I'm going to read a statement this evening. I'm going to try to stick to it. So, good evening. I have thought long and hard about this moment for quite some time, about when I can speak to the accusations and the spread of disinformation that I am not allowed to be a Cheverly council member while working for a county council member. I address this situation not for those who sat around breakfast tables conspiring to unseat our first black mayor and finding ways to drag down those who support her. I do not address this issue for the ones who illegally put letters in neighbors' mailboxes, stalked doorways in hopes to defame my character, who put disinformation on campaign literature, who allowed their campaigns to be associated with this abhorrent behavior, those who harassed our board volunteers and spoke ill of them, who used fear tactics on election day, or left letters in my mailbox telling me I should resign, stay home, and focus on being a mother. But don't be mistaken, I'm not ignoring you. I see and accept who you are. I address my situation with a grateful heart to my husband and family, friends, the many, many neighbors who reached out, the volunteers on our ethics board, Board of Elections, the town staff who've had to endure the scrutiny, the doubt, borderline harassment behaviors, and very uncomfortable situations due to a handful of residents in Cheverly throughout the election period, and even today. I want to say thank you to former Mayor Casey, Councilmember Briner, Councilmember Garces, former Councilmember Joseph Delacour, and many other neighbors who've had to defend my name in rooms that I was not in. Lastly, I do want to say thank you to my amazing boss, Councilmember Jolene Ivey, who stood by me throughout this whole attack, and to the attorneys at Williams and Connolly, who traversed the muddy waters of a county administrative hearing and appeal. So this evening, I am providing an update because I finally can. The matter is closed. As of October 26, 2025, the Cheverly Ethics Commission, quote unquote, considers this matter closed. As of October 22nd, 2025, the Prince George's County Office of Ethics and Accountability, the OEA, has closed my secondary employment approval form as Chief of Staff to the at-large council member with the secondary employment of council member for the town of Cheverly. And I quote from their email, "The Office of Ethics and Accountability has received a copy of your agency/department head's approval of your secondary employment form Regarding your case, appropriate safeguards, including adherence to the at-large secondary employment policy, are in place to ensure that no conflicts of interest exist. This resubmission was requested by the OEA on the heels of the finding of the court that affirmed the procedural process of the hearing, which was prolonged for a variety of reasons, including a no-show by the opposing lawyer on my court date. Throughout my tenure as Chief of Staff, I have had this secondary employment form reviewed and approved without issue by the OEA multiple times. As an employee of the county, the OEA is an agency that's created to safeguard the county and provide proper feedback and advice to guide employees to act within the confines of the charter. At no time prior to this investigation, that was based on a quote-unquote fictitious complaint, that's a direct quote per the finding of facts presented by the OEA, did the OEA ever state that the guidelines provided in my approved secondary employment forms as deficient of structure or policy for my employment? I have followed every rule and every guidance provided by the county's OEA, the county's Board of Ethics, Cheverly Ethics Board, and the Cheverly Town Attorney. So when the Board of Ethics findings stated that there was no quote-unquote structure, my office created a policy that was court-approved to add to the guidelines that the OEA initially provided and approved. This is what continues to be part of our office policy today, as my position has changed since this was initiated, and the member I serve now represents the full county and not just District 5. I want to note that it is on the record that the judge stated the lady, which is me, in the court's opinion, acted with particular caution to avoid any appearance or not appearance, any actual impropriety as to her position with both the town of Cheverly and Councilmember Ivy. There was no record that the lady had acted inappropriately in any instance or there was any nefarious activity by the lady or intention to mislead the board. State and municipal electeds have served in various capacities working for the county long before my tenure. The current executive director of the OEA was once a municipal council member, serving in various capacities in the legislative branch, including in a council member's office like I am. This continues to happen, and it is not unusual. I will continue to serve as a Ward 6 council member with compassion and care, just as I have since being elected in 2019. This hasn't changed, and it won't. And that's regardless of whether you voted for me. My commitment remains to continue to represent every resident in Ward 6 and to act in the best interest of the entire town. And in that effort, when it's appropriate to do so, I will continue to recuse myself from votes as I've done before. As you will note, I do not vote on grants for the Boys and Girls Club because my husband is on the executive board. That is in the interest of full disclosure, despite the fact that grants have been awarded prior to my tenure on council and prior to his tenure on the board. My recusal does not mean there is no voice for my residents, especially because this body often acts through consensus. A recusal is about recognizing the importance of transparency and showing care and caution in service to the public, that no shadows can be cast on the decisions we are making as a body. I do want to note, I'm going off script here, earlier in the meeting, there was a vote that had to do with Hospital Hill. I stepped away to speak to a resident because on the agenda it noted that there was not supposed to be a vote. Typically when there's action to be taken, there's an asterisk on the agenda. There was not one, so I did not expect a vote. Had I been sitting in this seat, though, I would have recused myself. This past weekend during our council retreat, I shared with my colleagues that over these past 6 months and more, I see who they are, and I have made it clear to them who I am and where I stand. I am committed to working together from where we are individually and collectively, and I want to say the same to our community. My 6.5 years of service to this town have shown me exactly who you are, and I thank you for showing me your authentic selves. There was much to be learned from this past election season, and it has taken me many, many months to fully process it all. I refuse to allow the actions of a few to take away my heart for this community, so I am here with those lessons learned. And I hope that every member of our community reflects and does the same, because it is in those moments that your character was revealed, and it is your choice with what you do with those lessons. My door has always been open, and it continues to be. I respond to emails, calls, and texts. I remain committed to making sure that Cheverly is the community that we all want it to be: diverse, inclusive, accessible, and welcoming for everyone. My focus right now, unfortunately, is on our neighbors who are currently being kidnapped, disenfranchised, without employment or basic necessities. And I'm very focused on making sure that I can bring resources, not just to our town, but to the neighbors around our town. And that's all in efforts to make sure that we're making sure that Cheverly thrives and that each one of us are safe. So I want to thank this body for its time. And to the neighbors who've reached out, I want to say thank you for your continued support, and I look forward to continuing to make sure that we keep Cheverly a safe and thriving community.
Thank you, Councilmember. I have a few quick items. I will get through them in the time allotted. I want to first, huge thanks to staff for pulling off the resource fair last week. Both the front office staff, Public Works, really came together to pull that off very quickly, and I think it's going to be the start of an important conversation that we will continue with folks in town who are affected by federal cutbacks. So thank you to the team for making that happen. I want to say, just point out that that Cheverly Station Apartments, we have a ward walk. I'll say it on behalf of Councilmember Garces and Councilmember Fry. I believe it is still scheduled for next Wednesday, the 19th, and so invite all council members to join. Councilmember Garces has traditionally been the ringleader there, so double check with him to make sure it's still happening. But it is scheduled for Wednesday, the 19th. I think it starts about 6:30 in the evening. Okay, I'm getting a nod from Councilmember Fry. I will be holding mayor's hours during the November 22nd market. That is the Thanksgiving market. It is entirely indoors. It will be in the gym, and I will be doing mayor's hours on Zoom with ASL during the market hours to maximize attendance. Since we are discussing the audit at the next meeting, Mr. Galloway has graciously agreed to give us updated budgets to reflect the audited numbers and the council-approved 2026 numbers. We, council, continue to owe Mr. Galloway our top 5 priorities, so that's my reminder to do that. I also need to do it, and I promise I will do that in the next 2 weeks. And then I'll conclude tonight by simply making a note of appreciation for former town attorney Richard Colorisi. Many of you knew him over many years. He was the town attorney for several decades and was a vital part of a number of very important town initiatives. He passed away about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm certainly remembering him and his contributions to the town, and hope that you do the same for him and his family during the holiday season. That's it from me. Council, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. The motion was made by Councilmember Fry and seconded by Councilmember Garces. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? It passes 6-0. Have a good night.